welcome back to another deck profile for Anime vs. Master Duel. And my grandfather's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. Yes, we're playing with the deck that Yugi used in the final confrontation against Kaiba at the end of the Death Tea arc. This is a mixture of Yugi's cards and his grandfather's cards, and they all come together to make a powerful deck. With the most powerful monster, Exodia, Obliterate. And I run Sangan as well, which is thanks to the manga. Alright, let's go through the card by card. We're starting with the right leg of the Forbidden One. This is our game-winning strategy for this deck, is to use the Forbidden One cards, specifically Exodia the Forbidden One, which if I collect all 5 pieces in my hand, I immediately win the duel. Oh, it's so good. It's good when you build a deck around it. Not so good if you're just using a bunch of guff. But you can see these are all limited to 1. Now are officially the best monsters in our deck, the Exodia cards. Alright, so we have the right leg of the Forbidden One. We have the left leg of the Forbidden One. The right arm of the Forbidden One. And the left arm of the Forbidden One. And these all were used in the duel to summon Exodia and Obliterate and win the duel. I'm going to skip over the cards we've already talked about. So if you want to see like the explanations for those cards, go back in the previous episodes. We've got Skull's Servant, playing himself, Thousand Eyes Idol. Okay, this is standing in for a manga-only card that is like a little Millennium Eye. So kind of like the Millennium Eye Idol, but that was like a way later card. So I decided to choose Thousand Eyes Idol. It looks more like Millennium Shield, but if it was Millennium Shield, it wouldn't have been destroyed by Blue Eyes. So I'm going with this one. Meh. Kind of works out, I guess. Next up, we got Mushroom Man playing himself. We got Curtain of the Dark Ones standing in for Dark Mammoth. We've got Kageningen standing in for Night Soldier. We have Archfiend Mammoth of Nefariousness standing in for Big Tree. We have Kagemusha of the Blue Flame standing in for Chimera. We have Meda Bat standing in for Black Scorpion. We have Mammoth Graveyard standing in for King Rex. We have Silver Fang standing in for Death Wolf. We have Mystic Elf playing herself. We have a new one. This is Feral Imp. This is standing in for Gremlin. Now, Gremlin has 2000 attack, but I think the Japanese name for Gremlin translates to the same Japanese name as Feral Imp, so that's why we're using Feral Imp instead of like 2000 attack, 1 tribute monster. So we went with the name instead of the stats for this one. It's fine, we got enough like single tribute monsters to fill out the whole deck. And this is a card that we know that Yugi uses later on, so it kind of fits within the theme. Next up, another new one. Wind Dragon, Guardian of our Fortress, number 1. This is playing himself, and yeah, he gets summoned in the duel. In the manga as the opening, the powerful dragon. Usually the opening dragon for Yugi, I think, is either this one, or sometimes it's this one, or sometimes it's this one. Yugi had a bunch of like 1500, 1400 attacker dragons that kind of like were like the bread and butter, like starting off the duel, I summoned a dragon and attack your guy kind of guys. So that's where those guys come from. Next up we got Blackland Fire Dragon, playing himself. We've got Horn Imp, playing himself, and this is a new card. So yeah, Horn Imp, the first appearance of Horn Imp for Yugi. Yeah, it's a pretty decent card. Yeah, he's a scary looking guy. A small fiend that dwells in the dark. Next up we've got Battle Ox. The anime gave Yugi this card, so he's got this card. After that, we've got Beaver Warrior, the first appearance of Beaver Warrior in the manga. Yeah, Yugi summons one of his cards, Beaver Warrior. It's there. First shows up here. Next up, we've got Koumori Dragon, playing himself. Sleeping Lion, standing in for Sleeping Worm. And then another new card, Yaranzo, which is standing in for this manga specific card that Yugi uses, and it's a little guy in a box. So I was like, oh, we have a card that's a little guy in a box. So there you go. We don't know anything else about it other than it's a little guy in the box. Next up, we've got the Fairy's Gift, standing in for King Beetle. Another new card. This is Pale Beast. This is standing in for this like devil dog that Yugi uses in the manga. It's a beast. It's not any better than like his best cards. So it's like, and not better than a Blue Eyes, that's for sure. One of those monsters that gets destroyed by Blue Eyes. Next up, Girochin Kuwagata. And this guy, he's standing for Iron Beetle. Another new card, Leogun. This is standing in for this Lion Man that Yugi uses in the manga. Just another thing to get destroyed by the almighty Blue Eyes. Yugi's ace card from very early in the series. Jax Knight, standing in for Neon Knight. Another ace card, Summon Skull, playing himself. The ace card that shows up in the manga for the first time in this duel, Dark Magician. Yeah, Dark Magic Attack. It's here. Another one that in the anime showed up way sooner, but another one that showed up for the first time in this duel, both the manga and the anime, was one of Grandpa Solomon's cards, Gaia, the Fierce Knight. Yes, Spiral Strike. And there he is, Gaia. Strictly worse than Dark Magician, but he is the most powerful of the Magical Knight subclass, according to Bakura. So thanks, Bakura. We already talked about Exodia the Forbidden One, but obviously playing himself, the most powerful monster in our deck. Our win condition previous was normal tribute summoning for Summon Skull and hoping that we could beat over something. Now we have an actual win condition in our deck. Will we be able to get into it? Well, we have some cards to help us. One of those cards is Sangan, courtesy of the comics. The manga is Sangan. You tribute, if he's sent, I get a 1500 or less attack monster from the deck, which can grab any of the pieces of Exodia that we're missing from our hand and add it to our hand. So, very powerful card. Next up, we have the Swords of Revealing Light. Very powerful card as well. Stops for the opponent for 3 turns. Unfortunately, lots of decks play Nightmare Phoenix, which will just destroy this at the start, or in their turn. So won't help. But it showed up for the first time. Roar, being played by Acid Rain. We have Monster Reborn being played by itself. Clock Card being played by Silent Doom. We have Elf's Light being played by the Flute of Light. And we have Miraculous Water being played by Blast with Chain. Alright, well, that's the card by card. I'll be seeing you for some duels.